chickies. Hey guys, welcome to Wild Hope Homestead. I'm just working through my piles of onions at the moment. Got Egyptian walking onions. I've done a bunch of them already here. And we've got some here. And I think most of the potato onions are up there. I'm going through these clumps of Egyptian walking onions. And so I'm separating them. They've been sitting for 6 weeks now to dry out. So I am taking off just the very dirtiest outer layers, and then supposed to use scissors, but I'm just using my nails, leaving about this much stem on the end there so they can finish curing, so they store nicely. Pushing the old bits of skin and stems in here. And then the bigger ones are going into this box for eating. And I'm saving the smaller ones as well as the bulbils. The bulbils are the little tiny clusters that form bulbs like on the stems where you'd normally get a seed head. They're quite tiny compared to, well, these are some of the smallest bulbs like this. Obviously the little bulbs will grow smaller onions, or else take longer to grow good onions. So having a mixture of both would be good, which is what I had to start with them this season. This was the first season that I'd grown Egyptian walking onions and potato onions, so I'm still learning about how they work. Or where, but it doesn't hurt to save more than I think I might need. It's a little bit moist, so I'm not going to save them. They'll be for eating. Wasn't really going to do this in the evening. I just started doing it. So now mozzies were getting me, so I had to put my knobs on. Oops. I'll just see how far I can get. If they're stuck a bit too close together, like they haven't formed
skins in between them, not many skins in between them yet, then I'll just kind of leave them together for eating. Here's a good example. So like this one here, it hasn't got any skin on that part there, so that's not going to be much good for saving to plant, even though that is a smaller one there I could pull off. It probably won't store very well, so that's just going in the eating pile. Almost there. Well, for the first lot of Egyptian walking onions anyway. I didn't realise we were going to get so many out of them. Those ones must have been from bulbils or... yeah. I really just wanted to get them cleared up off the deck. There were also a few stragglers I found in the garden that I'd missed, so those ones are still drying out. Okay, I finished my Egyptian walking onions, apart from the ones that need to dry out a little bit more. Now that it's morning and we can see a bit better, these are all the Egyptian onions that I separated out, the bigger ones for eating, and the smaller cloves and the, or do you call them cloves? I don't know. The smaller bulbs and bulbils for planting next season. I counted out the bulbs that I've got in here and got it down to 40. I had more than 40 in there. I think 40 is a lot as it is, so because I've got to fit the potato onions in somewhere too. So now I'll put them away. They're supposed to sit in the sun for a couple of days just to finish drying out, but it's not sunny at the moment, so I'm just going to put them in the shed at the moment. So the Egyptian walking onions are the ones where the stems that form like seed heads, instead of the seeds just staying on the stalk and drying out, they actually grow into little bulbs, and then the stem bends over and the little bulbils start rooting into the soil if you don't get them. So that's where the little bulbils come from, and why they're called Egyptian walking onions, because they walk. And then the other perennial onion that I grew is the potato onion. So these are kind of smaller, well at the moment anyway, smaller and rounder. And they kind of work by the same principle though. You plant one and they divide into many. So with these ones, you're actually supposed to save the biggest ones to plant next year. So those are the next ones that I need to sort through. We are having a harvesting session again because it's supposed to get down to 3 degrees tonight. So we're trying to get in any fresh beans and peas and dried beans and peas and whatever else is around that could get affected if it gets too cold. We have a few beans that have dried now. Some of the bush beans, these are cannellini. Some of them are just getting a little bit mouldy looking, so we definitely need to get them out. And a few of the climbing beans have dried out too.
Found 3, 4.
More beans, thank you.
Show them to the...
These ones are some borlotto beans. Those are the ones that are white and burgundy mottled. We use for dried beans. That's Salugia. Looks a bit like a peanut. Oh, and the Henry's climbing butter. Excellent. Those have dried out. Thank you. Oh, through the jungle. We've had a few cold mornings in the last week. Not as cold as 3 degrees though.
Ooh.
Like 5, 6, 7 degrees. I think everything's still
Dry
alive.
bean pod.
Thank you. Oh, they can be a little, they need to dry out just a little bit more than that, bud.
Okay.
Like crunchy, crispy.
Crunch crisp.
I don't think anything's really died yet, but some of the ground cherry, well, the ground cherry plant was already looking sad from disease. It's just about had it now. So I'm just trying to get things before they go to mush if it gets too cold. Yeah, the best ground cherry plant is, it's hard to see with this lighting, but it's starting to look a bit floppy and droopy from the cold, so we'll see what happens in the morning. And here's the one that was getting diseased. The cold's getting to that too. It's looking pretty droopy. I've got just a few tomatoes hanging in there. Mostly the cherry tomatoes. We'll take what we can before they die. The nasturtiums seem to be having their second wind. There are a lot of dried peas in here. I definitely have plenty of pea seeds. We don't usually get temperatures this cold so soon in March. On the one hand, I quite like it because it's nice and cool and I like that. But on the other hand, not ready to lose veggies yet, so hopefully we won't lose anything important yet. These golden grape tomatoes have held up reasonably well to the blight, considering, I mean, the fruits have. Not many of them have been affected, and I've still got more growing up here. We might not after tonight, but reaching up to the sky. Trying so hard. Even though a lot of the leaves have gone brown and died, the fruits have actually managed pretty well, which is interesting. So this one next to it, the same one, it's a few fruits more affected, but it's still got green ones developing. Whereas the Gardener's Delight tomatoes right beside them have fared a lot worse. Their fruits, you can see that the green ones have got blight patches on them, and that one there too. They've done a lot worse, even though the plants look pretty similar in overall condition. I really don't want to lose any beans just yet, especially not all these dried ones. can definitely spot the yard-long red noodle bean now as the purplish splashes of colour along the stem. I think I have discovered the problem why they haven't been doing very well, and that is, I think things have been chewing the flower buds off so that they don't produce beans. Snails. But also they do also just grow slower. Got all these beautiful bornotto beans that just haven't dried out yet. Hang in there, beans. Goose beans are turning their pink colour. They turn quite bright pink. The beans inside, when they're dried, are a light brownish colour. Most of the sunflowers have lost their petals. That's sad. Just a few hanging in there. These ones are a little bit more yellowy. So we haven't got a particularly large harvest aside from the tomatoes and peas and ground cherries that we ate. Just a few peas left, cherry tomatoes and dried beans. But we'll take it. I just about forgot about the gherkins. I just saw an egg in the pen, so I came to get that. A little pullet egg from one of the young girls, and I've just harvested a bunch of the gherkins. They're about that size. Don't really want them to get too much bigger than that for fresh eating. There are a few smaller ones left on there that will hopefully survive. But we'll have a stash in any case. Do we say hello to you guys eating your garden snacks? Look at your dirty faces, some of you. Been stuffing yourselves with feijoas. Or just in the feijoa dirt, digging around. Thanks for joining us in today's vlog. Choose to grow hope, and we'll see you next time. Bye.